Hello Noddies. In the previous video, we learned how to design a D flip-flop and asynchronous counters. But here is a question. What if you don't want to store one bit of data? What if you want to store or transfer multiple bits one after another? That's exactly where the shift register comes into the picture. There are exactly four types of shift registers. The serial in serial out register, serial in parallel out register, parallel in parallel out, and parallel in series out register. In today's video, we will cover the first two, the series in series out and series in parallel out shift register. Now let's start with the simplest one, the serial in serial out register. As the name suggests, data enters one bit at a time and also comes out one bit at a time. Here I have connected 4 D flip-flop in series, all sharing the same clock. Here, every clock pulse shifts the stored data by one stage to the output. Let's understand this with an example. Suppose here if the initial sequence is 1010, initially nothing reaches the output, but after the fourth clock, the first bit finally reaches the last flip-flop. So from the fourth clock onwards, the output starts appearing. The table on the right side shows exactly how every bit moves through each stage after every clock pulse. Now let's try to simulate this in Cadence. So here this is my series in series out shift register. Here for the input, I have given the period as 10 micro and the pulse width as 5 micro. And for the clock, I have given the input period as 5 micro, delay time as 1 micro, and the pulse width as 2.5 micro. Now let's try to simulate it. Check and save. Launch. ADL. Here I have chose my analysis to be trans and the stop time is given as 100 micro. And in order to view the waveform, I have chose the input, clock and output. Run the simulation. So here my input was 1010 initially, and after the fourth clock, my output changed to 1010. So for a serial input, I got the output in serial manner. So why do we use a shift register? First, it's extremely simple to design. Since only one wire carries the data, the wiring complexity is very low. It is also useful whenever the data naturally arrives serially. But the drawback is the speed. Only one bit is transferred every clock cycle. So transferring a large amount of data takes many clock cycles, making it unsustainable for high-speed bulk transfers. So SISO registers are commonly used in delay circuits, data synchronization, temporary storage, and serial communication. You will also find this concept inside protocols such as USB, SPI, UART, where data is transmitted serially. Now let's move to the serial in parallel out register. Here, the input is still serial, exactly like before. The difference is that now we can access the output every flip-flop simultaneously. Let's again transmit 1010. So after fourth clock cycle, each flip-flop stores exactly one bit. Now instead of waiting for every bit to come out one by one, we can directly read all the four output together as 1010. So we have successfully converted our serial data into a parallel data. And you can also notice that there is an extra clear pin in this serial in parallel out register. So whenever the clear pin is enabled, the output just goes to 0. So you can verify it from this table. After the fourth clock cycle, we can see our input across every D flip-flop. But whenever the clear pin is enabled, everything goes back to 0. Let's try to simulate it in Cadence. So in order to add the clear pin, here you can see this is our previous D flip-flop circuit. Here I have added a NMOS to the Q output. Since we are not bothered much about the Q bar, we are just going to add only a NMOS to the Q output. So here whenever the clear input goes high, we can see the NMOS just pulls the Q to the ground, which is 0. Now let's try to simulate it. So here I have created a test bench. Here the D is given with the period of 10 micro and a pulse width of 5 micro. And the clock is given with the period of 15 micro and a delay of 2 micro with a pulse width of 5 micro. And similarly, here we can see the clear is also having the same value as the clock, but the only difference is here the voltage 1 is given as 1 volt. Now let's try to simulate it. Check and save. You can just ignore the warning. Launch, ADL, choose your analysis as trans, and here I am giving the stop time to be 30 micro. Click OK. I am choosing my input and output, D, clock, clear, and Q. Run your simulation. So from this we can clearly see whenever the clear input goes to 1, the output just drops to 0 instead of just maintaining its previous state. So our circuit is working fine. Now let's try to simulate the serial in parallel out register. So here this is the final circuit of the SIPO register. Here I have given the period as 10 micro and pulse width as 5 micro for the input, and period as 5 micro, delay as 1 micro, and pulse width as 2.5 micro for my clock. And here I have given my period to be 16 micro and delay time as 20 micro with the pulse width of 8 micro. The reason why the delay is given as 20 micro here is that the period of clock is 5 micro. So we just want to clear the output at the fourth clock cycle. So 5 times of the 4 is 20 micro. So here I have set the delay time to be 20 micro. As usual, you can just ignore the warning. Go to your ADL window. So here I have set the trans to be 25 micro and I am plotting these things. The input, clock, clear pin and the bit 0 to bit 3 output. Run your simulation. So here from this output we can clearly see our output becomes 1010 exactly at the fourth clock, and after the fourth clock we have enabled the clear pin. So all the output are just cleared here. So here we have successfully simulated our series in parallel out register. Here the biggest advantage is that it saves wiring because the transmission is serial, and it also reduces communication cost by requiring fewer data lines. And most importantly, it converts serial data into parallel data, making it easy for processors to read multiple bits at once. And again, since the data enters serially, we still need n clock cycles to receive a n bit word. That introduces latency, making it less suitable for extremely high speed applications. SIPO registers are usually used in keyboard interface, LED matrices, LCD controllers, and perhaps their most important practical application is deserialization. Many communication systems receive data serially to save pins and wiring, then convert it into a parallel form before processing. And that's all for today's video, Noddies. So in today's video, we learned the first two types of shift registers. The series in series out, where data enters serially and exits serially, and the series in parallel out register, where data enters serially but becomes available in parallel. So in the next video, we'll continue the series by exploring the remaining two shift register, the PIPO and PISO, and understanding why they are used in real digital systems. So if you enjoyed this video, Noddies, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So until then, keep learning, keep building and keep simulating.